Yeah, I know you're wondering how to protect your energy and make sure you level up and get everything that you want in your life. The reason you're not freaking getting it is because you're not toxic enough. You're not enough of an evil woman to get what you want in your life. I know it's sad to hear because you probably thought that being the good girl was going to give you everything that you wanted, and making sure everybody else is happy first is going to make people make you happy, but that's a lie. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you how to become an evil woman in 5 easy steps. Toxicity guaranteed. The first thing you're going to do to become more toxic is you're going to focus more on your beauty. And you might think, oh my God, you're saying it's toxic to be beautiful? No, but people are going to think you're toxic when you're focused on your looks. And you know what that's going to do? It's going to bring out the toxicity in people around you, because when you are higher maintenance, it is going to bring out the people who have a thorn up there, you know what, out. It is going to make your reality respond differently to you, and it's actually going to make you purge all the toxicity you have stuck up there, because you're going to realize who's actually there for you and not really for you. Maybe your mom is the type of person that every time you change your hair, every time you make sure you do your makeup nice, or you wear a cool outfit, or you want to make sure you're dressed up, she makes a comment. Or your friends and people say, oh, I could never do that. Oh, wow, you do a lot. That's a good thing. It's a good thing that they've started saying that, because that means that you are actually being exposed to what it means to hide yourself behind people that are not willing to step into their higher self. These people are triggered by the fact that you're willing to do something that they secretly want to do, but they want you to not do it so that they're not triggered anymore. They're actually not bad people. It's just because everybody triggers each other to make us get our dream life. That is why being focused on your looks, maintenance, all of that stuff is actually a great way to make you more toxic in a way that brings out toxicity in other people, so that you can actually become less toxic. Does that make sense? The second thing you're going to do is you're going to learn to play dumb. And playing dumb doesn't mean like, oh my God, I don't know the difference between blue and green. No, playing dumb means not entertaining things that are not making you happy. Playing dumb, aka being the woman who's a little too obsessed with her looks and doesn't really get what's going on, is actually a really good way to protect your energy. And you might say, wow, it's toxic because I literally learned all of this stuff. I'm meant to show it off. Are you meant to show it off, or do you feel like if you don't show it off, you don't really have any value, and you need to prove how efficient and good you can be to other people by being smart in order for you to feel like you have any value around people? Think about that for a second, because the smartest person knows, first and foremost, that they know nothing. But the smartest person is also the most comfortable with playing dumb, because they understand that their perceived value has nothing to do with their actual value. Think about someone like Paris Hilton. For many, many years, people thought she was just a dumb blonde, and then it turns out she understood that by playing dumb and being a little vain and not understanding what's going on and asking people for favors and, oh my God, I don't know, could you give me money for a hamburger? When she did that, she created a persona that could make her money so that she could actually make a living for herself. She only entertained the things that pushed her in the direction of what she wanted, and she wasn't questioned by everybody trying to prove that she was the smart girl who could figure it out. By playing dumb, she protected her energy and used that role to actually leverage it into a career and success. Because the thing that a lot of women have a tendency to do is that we want to prove ourselves to everybody because we don't feel like our inherent value is inherent. We don't feel like we have any value unless we're a good mother, a good daughter, a good at school, good at work, good towards men. We are literally taught that in order for us to have value, we need to perform and be efficient. And that is exactly what burns us out. And that is why the best thing you could do for yourself is to learn to play dumb. And play dumb doesn't mean, oh, boy, is this a remote? I don't know. No, it means shifting focus. It means focusing on you, the things you like, the things that inspire you, the things that make you happy, and not trying to be the person who's always solving and overanalyzing everything. Because when you're trying to solve situations in environments that you're trying to escape, you're going to get trapped in that environment, and then you're never going to be the person who actually helps anybody, let alone yourself. Which is why if you want to create a better life for yourself and protect your energy, you need to learn to play dumb. and only play into the positivity that can make your life better. And when you play into also being ditzy and a little dumb, people also expect less from you, which means that they are actually going to accommodate you better, because when they're around you, what they're going to feel is that you're this happy person, you're this golden retriever personality. So what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to make you feel even happier. This way you flip the script. Now you're not the one people pleasing, you're the one getting people to please you, because it pleases them to know that you're happy. It could be perceived as toxic because, oh my God, you're making people do things for you. But people are actually motivated to do these things because they are happy in your company now. When you put yourself first and your own energy first, people are also going to understand that you value yourself. And that's why playing dumb is actually nothing to do with being stupid. It has everything to do with understanding that your energy is not well spent trying to prove yourself and being efficient. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to have to go ghost on your old life for a little while. This means you're going to actually archive your old photos on your Instagram, create a new Instagram, refresh your feed on your TikTok. Make sure that you change your algorithm, and also make sure that you change the algorithm of the people you hang around. A lot of the times, the reason why our energy is extremely easily ciphered is because we haven't had time to sit with our energy. We haven't learned to respect our own energy. So we feel like in order for us to be good people, we need to give energy. We can't sit with our own energy. That's why we literally run to people please, because if we are not giving people energy and getting people's opinions about what we do for them, which is just going to make them give us more stuff to do for them that pleases them, it's not going to please us. We're not going to get reciprocation until we've done enough for them, and nothing is ever going to be enough. When we remove our energy and go ghost on people, and I'm not telling you to go write a message, I'm going to go ghost because this lady on the internet told me to go ghost. Don't do that. No. Stop contacting people for a little while and see how people react and see how you yourself react. You need to face your own toxicity and also have reflection upon the toxicity of maybe those who are around you. If the people who are around you are genuinely good people, there will be nothing when you do step back into communicating. They'll just be happy to know that you've spent some time working on yourself, because these people are also going to be happily occupied. And you're probably not going to feel like you need to switch your life around if you already have these people around you. But one thing I would definitely recommend for you is to take a step back from friends that have been around for too long and you've been friends with them just cause. Like friends that you've been friends with since you were very young. Friends you would develop later in adulthood are different, but also family members. Because a lot of the times we don't see the inherent toxicity that we've developed and how actually similar we are to our family members. We sometimes think, oh, we're not like them, we're not as toxic as they are. But we actually have to sit with our own energy to realize how similar and how many wounds we have from our family connections. And this also means you need to remove your energy so that you can actually learn to respect and sit with your own energy. And this is going to feel toxic for you if you are a people pleaser, because you're going to be like, oh, isn't it bad for me to just like stop communicating with people? A lot of the times people are going to start respecting you way more when you actually learn to remove your energy. Not because they're like, wow, you never talk to us anymore. And if they're like that, you were right in removing your energy in the first place. But more because they understand that you actually have a life, and that life is not solely to people please, and that life is not solely to just figure out what they're doing. Especially if you grew up with a parent who had like, you had to always be their therapist and you always had to take care of their emotions. It is imperative, it is essential that you remove your emotions and you remove your energy from them and you sit with it, because suddenly you're going to feel very empty, and you're probably also going to feel very reactive. You're going to probably want to reach out to friends and tell them about all the things that happened and all of this, like talk to people about your victimhood. But when you're forced to sit with that energy alone, you have to purge that toxicity, and you're going to get tired of yourself. You're going to get tired of your own toxicity, because what's going to happen is you're going to be like, damn, I don't want to be around this girl anymore. You're going to be like, is that all you can focus on? Your victimhood? I don't want to deal with that. And that's why sitting with your own energy is so important, because you're going to realize the value of your own energy. Where does your energy go? What do you put energy into? Like, what do you speak into existence? Hey, hashtag the law of attraction. And how do you actually change that up? Because you can't change that up if you're always enmeshed in being around people. That's why it's good to take that time by yourself, and why I also recommend for any people pleaser girly to just do everything in your power to try to move out as quickly as you can, if that is a possibility. because you will see yourself change in so many ways, and sometimes it'll go a little downhill, but you will also really learn to respect yourself, and people around you will also learn to respect you way more. And the next toxic thing you're gonna do is you're gonna start lying to people. What? She said that? Lying to people? Your reality is in need of change, and that means you have to speak life into your new reality, which means that you're essentially going to have to fabricate a new story about who you are. If you've had all of these things you've gone through as a child and all of this victim mentality, you're going to have to rewrite that story about yourself to be the story of someone who's successful, of someone who gets what they want. And when you rewrite that and you step into a new room, you meet people with the new you cannot be telling them all of the stuff you went through that was so sad and they need to have sympathy for you. Especially not when it comes to dating. If you want to have healthy relationships, this is for you. You have to start telling the story of someone who is successful, someone who has what you want. And this does not mean being like, yeah, I'm this girl, I get all of this. No, we're not telling you to be desperate. I'm telling you, you need to switch your mindset about who you are, which means you cannot be telling people about all of the hard things you've been going through and oversharing. You have to overshare about the things that you like. You have to overshare about the things that you've done that you really think are fun. You have to overshare about what you're interested in, not trauma overshare about all of the hard things you went through. No more. Because every time you overshare something toxic you went through, you are creating a cycle of that toxicity being there over and over again, because that's the law of attraction. Whatever it is you put your attention towards, you get more of. And there's a big difference between sitting down and analyzing it, saying like, okay, this is why these things happen to me, and this is how I should probably change my patterns, and I'm aware of how I work and the things that I have a tendency to do. This is an assessment you have to do with yourself or a therapist. This is not an assessment you have to do with people out there in the world. That is also why I recommend, before starting to lie to people, you sit down and you spend time alone where you just don't even have to talk to anybody. Because what will happen when you stop talking to people is you will realize you actually have the freedom to choose who you want to be. You have the freedom to choose your identity, which means you have the freedom to create a new life and speak words and existence into a new persona. This might seem toxic because it's like, well, am I just gonna abandon my old self? No, you're not abandoning your old self. You're actually making space for yourself to flourish. Because a lot of the times we hold ourselves back in a cage of who we used to be and everything we went through. And we're actually pointing the finger at everyone who did us wrong, not knowing that the person who's actually doing us the most wrong at the moment is ourselves, holding ourselves in a cage of feeling like that's the only truth we can talk about. When we speak that into existence, that's what becomes the truth. And that's how we're attracting negative people into our lives, because we speak that into existence, so more of that must happen. That's why when you spend your energy alone, you realize, oh, actually, I have the power to create my reality. And then you start focusing on like, wow, I actually can get this. I can be this. I can speak life into other parts of my life. And you won't be able to do this if you're constantly around people that want to reinforce your old self. You have to be in a space where you can like run free, roam free, and take big leaps. This is why it's good to not be with your parents or family or friends that have been with you for a long time, because if they're also wounded and victim mentality themselves, they're going to want to bring you back down into that. That also means you have to let the old version of you be and say, thank you so much for everything you did for me. Thank you for bringing me here. Now it's time for something new. Don't shame them. Give them space to become your new self. Imagine you're a little child and you keep bringing up all of the mistakes that this little child did to this little child. Do you think this little child would feel happy? Do you think this little child would feel any type of wish to do things differently? Or do you think this child would feel freaked out and feel like they needed to be perfect and feel like they were always constantly surveilled? Like, think about yourself as a little child. Would you tell this little child, hey, it's all good. You did what you thought was right, but we're at a different place now. I'm gonna take the wheel and you're just gonna have to sit back and relax. We're going somewhere else. This is why you have to kind of like calm yourself down, because the truth you've been telling yourself of your victim story is actually the lie, because you can actually change it. It's not a lie that you went through it. It's a lie that you are constantly forcing upon this little child that feels like, oh, now this is the identity they have to adopt for the rest of their life. And do you think that they can think about anything else if that's the only thing that you're constantly talking about with this little child? No. So do you think they'll ever escape it? No. You have to talk about something else. You have to focus upon other things. Distract the child. Focus on all the cool things. Make the child happy. Make the child laugh. That's why you have to kind of like lie. Like tell the little stories you tell the kids. Like, oh yeah, like Santa is real. You kind of have to gaslight yourself in that way. Delulu is the Solulu in this case. You haven't got to lie to yourself. It's going to feel like a lie in the beginning, but it's going to turn into the best thing you've ever done, because you're going to realize your mind can actually expand more than you thought. And the fifth toxic thing you could do to become a toxic woman, an evil woman, is for you to let yourself proclaim that you are an evil, toxic woman. Because a lot of the times we feel like when we proclaim we have to be good, it is actually the goodness of what other people want us to do for them. So when we let ourselves be bad, kind of like when moms eat a piece of cake and they're like, oh my God, I'm so bad. When you let yourself be bad and like, I'm bad, I'm a menace, I'm evil. When you let yourself sit with the feeling of saying, I'm a menace, I'm mean, I'm toxic, whatever, then you actually become less perfectionistic. You become less focused on everything having to be perfect, and you focus more on making sure that you get what you want, because you understand that it has nothing to do with you being the perfect woman, and it has everything to do with you focusing your energy on yourself and just transforming things slowly but surely. Your life is never meant to be perfect. It was meant to be lived. You were meant to scrape your knee and get back up and back up. But a lot of the times, a lot of women are stuck in this prison of feeling like they need to be good all the time. So what they do is that they ask everybody, how am I good? And what people are going to tell them is their version of what is good, which is how to please them. That is why a lot of women get stuck in really terrible relationships, because they're seeking the validation on how to become a good woman. But what they do is that they just ask people that are not fulfilled, how can I make you fulfilled? How can I do things for you? And then they wonder, why am I not fulfilled? You're not going to be fulfilled living somebody else's life. You're going to be fulfilled living your life, which is why you have to embrace being toxic. Because a woman who puts herself first and doesn't mind being the toxic one, who gives toxic advice, who says toxic things, and who's just like, doesn't care, doesn't mind playing dumb. And I'm not telling you to go out and proclaim this to people when you meet them, like up front, oh, I'm so toxic. No, it's more about proclaiming it to yourself. Proclaim to yourself that you're toxic. I'm toxic, I'm mean, I'm evil. Because that way you let yourself off the hook. Let yourself be instead of having to be for everybody else. You let yourself rest within knowing that you're good enough as you are. You don't have to perform to be a good woman. You just have to be. Because the evil woman is the woman who's not trying to please people. She's just trying to please herself. And pleasing herself means she doesn't care. She doesn't care if people think she's bad. She doesn't care if people think she's self-centered. She doesn't care if people think, wow, she's really doing a lot. That's why it's sometimes better to just say to yourself, I'm not perfect. I'm evil. I'm mean. I am the bad woman. I am the woman who I'm a bad woman. I'm a bad girl. Because that way you're not trying to be the woman who is perfect. You're not trying to be dutiful, because dutifulness means wiping everybody's backside. We don't want that for you, girl. No, I don't want you to be trying to make other people happy, hoping that one day you're going to get reciprocation, because it's not going to happen. What is going to make you feel happy is letting yourself live, letting yourself make mistakes, because when you let yourself make mistakes more, what's going to happen is that you're going to see yourself growing. It's like painting. Like every time you paint, especially when you're a child doesn't care if what their drawings are bad. A child doesn't care if their sandcastle doesn't look good. A child doesn't care if their whatever, like jumps and hops and little show they're doing for their mom is bad. They just want to do it because it makes them happy. And that's the essence of being the bad woman. That's why you need to be the evil woman. And that is why it is such a freeing thing to also let yourself be mean and be evil. Which is why I just sit down and say, I'm an evil woman. I'm evil. You're wicked. No one mourns the wicked. No one cries, they won't return. No one lays a lily on their grave. When you let yourself be free and fly free and be unlimited, then you will actually see like, oh, I was actually just holding myself back because I thought that I needed to be something for other people. Because they have all types of thoughts in here that they want to shape their reality by. That doesn't mean it has to be my reality. So there you have it, guys. This is how to be an evil woman. And you might have thought, that's not evil. You literally talked about like healthy topics and like actually how to heal yourself. Yeah, because apparently being an evil woman is a woman who takes care of herself. It's a woman who actually understands that in order for her to help people, she needs to help herself first. And you gotta realize that, girl. You gotta realize that. You gotta sit with that. And you gotta sit with the stomach feeling of like, damn, I actually gotta put myself first. And I gotta kind of ghost people to be able to know what I want. Have you thought about what you wanted for 1 second? Have you thought about your dreams? Have you even let yourself dream? Have you let yourself have crazy dreams? We can make a whole video about having crazy dreams and how to actually dream more, because a lot of women are stuck not wanting to dream, and that's why they don't get what they want, because they don't think more. Like, they don't let themselves have those wild dreams. Like, if you can't think about it, then you can't bring it into existence. You have to be the Lulu to get what you want. Anyways, I hope this video helped you to be the evil woman that you deserve to be. I have many more tutorials coming up on how to be an evil woman, and I have ones that are also so toxic that I'm not going to be like telling them in a way that's like nice and sounding actually like I'm a person who wants good things for people. That was terrible. I'm gonna make videos that sound really, really toxic. You already know because I've already done it. So go out there, be an evil woman. Evil woman. Be wicked. Go fly on your broom. I gotta be Elphaba for Christmas. For Halloween. Halloween already passed. We're not doing the Grinch this year. We're doing Elphaba. Do you think Elphaba and the Grinch are friends? Good question. Leave your answer down below. Go and subscribe. Be toxic. Be weird. Be mean. Be evil.